We are always excited for our next trip to Greece. There's no better way to start summer vacation. As a teacher, I live for the magical moment when school ends and new adventures begin. And for me, there's truly no better place to welcome summer than the Greek islands. This summer was my 9th trip to Greece and brought me to 2 new islands, bringing my total to 13 Greek islands explored. My love affair with the Greek islands began nearly 3 decades ago in Corfu during a post-study abroad backpacking trip through Europe. That trip changed me. I fell head over heels for the country. Since then, Greece has become a part of my life story. In 2011, we finally returned to Athens and my first bucket list trip to Santorini, followed by 3 unbelievable weeks living in a beach house with friends in Paros. 2018, we made it to Kefalonia, hanging out with the goats on some of the most beautiful beaches. In 2021, when the world was just beginning to reopen, we found ourselves in Mykonos and Santorini without the cruise ships. Experiencing those iconic islands without the crowds is truly magical. In 2022, I finally made it to Crete with my daughter, a 10-day mother-daughter trip that was unbelievable. In 2024, my husband and I went to Mykonos and Milos and Ios for a 10-day trip. That's where our love affair with Milos began, and is possibly our favorite island in all of Greece. This year takes us to Athens, Paros, Naxos, Milos, and Kimolos. Returning to islands you've been to is never a mistake, and exploring new ones is even better. Let the adventures begin. Our first stop was coffee and breakfast, of course. Since we've all been to Athens before, we kept things pretty relaxed. This time, the goal was to let Lindsay's boyfriend Cody get a chance to experience Athens, especially the Acropolis. So while they explored the ancient ruins, Mike, Carly, and I wandered through the city streets, hoping to discover a few new neighborhoods we hadn't seen before. Athens has this great mix of old and new. Every corner seems to hold a little surprise. We strolled, we shopped, and of course we ate, because when you're in Greece, the food is half the experience. We took the €9 metro straight to the Piraeus port. Blue Star Ferries is right at the entrance. I always forget how big these ferries are. Our assigned seats were all over the place, but because there were so many empty seats in early June, we found some seats next to each other. Towards the end of our 4-hour ferry ride, we met on the deck and hung out. It's nice to know we'll be getting that sunshine for the next 2 weeks. We grabbed our luggage and joined the slow shuffle off the boat. One of the reasons I always leave the day after school gets out is because I know every day after that, things will get more and more crowded. But even on a quiet day like this, you really get a sense of how massive the ferry is when you see the waves of people pouring out into the port. It feels so good to be back in Paros, and it's immediately like a walk down memory lane. We grabbed our rental car and headed to the apartments. We've done all kinds of travel, from splurges to budget stays, but for this trip, with 5 of us and 2 full weeks, keeping it affordable was the key. I knew with that much time we could still get everything we wanted out of the experience without breaking the bank. Always try to book directly if you can for better rates, but I did find these on booking.com. This place will actually sleep 3, 2 beds, simple. There's another bed we use to store all of our stuff, closet, and then this little kitchenette area had all the pots and pans, simple little bathroom, and then an outdoor area to dry all of our clothes, and they cleaned it every single day. A little porch area out front, and it connects right over here. Hi. Our apartments were tucked on the northeast side of the island, making it easy to go back and forth to Naousa in the evenings. After checking in around noon, we were more than ready to ease into vacation mode, so we wandered across the street to Nino Beach, a hidden little spot that feels like your own private escape. The beach is small and peaceful, with a narrow path of sand leading to a tiny islet just offshore. No big crowds, no fuss, just a calm sea, warm sun, and the perfect place to nap and apparently compete in races. That evening, we headed into Naousa, one of the most picturesque towns and my favorite place on the island. The harbor is especially magical at sunset, with boats bobbing in the golden light and restaurants lining the edge of the water. It's the perfect spot for dinner, and we found the perfect place. I found this restaurant by using Google Maps and looking for places with really high reviews. This place deserved its high reviews. The food was so delicious. I especially recommend the stuffed calamari. The atmosphere was perfect and everybody enjoyed everything they got. Naousa really is one of the most picturesque towns on the island, and really possibly one of the most picturesque towns on most of the islands around Greece. With its winding alleys, whitewashed buildings, and its little shops tucked into every corner, it's got the right mix of charm and buzz. So we enjoyed our evening just strolling around. Father's Day! About a 15 to 20 minute walk from our apartments is Santa Maria Beach. So we put on our walking shoes and decided to go out and explore. We checked out the beach and then headed into the hiking trails around and following the coastline. We went through bushes and trees, trying to follow a trail, heading out to the water, just so Mike could find his perfect little swimming hole for the morning. Next up was Kolympithres Beach, one of the most iconic beaches in Paros. This beach is known for its giant granite rocks that create a series of small sculpted coves. We got a late start to the day, so it was a bit crowded already when we found a rugged spot in the rocks. The water is crystal clear, calm and shallow, perfect for a swim or just floating in the sun. It was nice, but we were on the search for bluer waters and less people, so we set off to explore. But first we had to find something to eat, and Google Maps reviews did it again. This place was perfect, and perfect for a Father's Day lunch with, again, calamari, some cold beers, and wonderful Greek salads. What a perfect spot. I highly recommend it. Since we were in the area, I knew there was a monastery nearby that I wanted to check out. But man, I had no idea that this was going to turn out to be our favorite place on the island. This is the spot that we like, right around the monastery. If you come down this path, going this way, and up over these rocks. The water's so pretty out here. Tucked into the rocky coastline near Monastiri Beach, this place quickly became our favorite on the island. It was windy while we were in Paros, and let's be honest, wind and sand, not the best combo. But up on the rocks, we had the best of everything. No blowing sand, stunning views, and that perfect electric blue water we came to Greece for. As a bonus, we even got the music from the beach club nearby. So, a DJ vibe without the crowds or the cover charge, this peace, beauty, and built-in soundtrack, what more could you ask for? This is where we found the beautiful blue water that's so pretty. There's the family. Since it was Father's Day, of course we wanted to find somewhere special to celebrate. Mike never asked for anything fancy, but he does appreciate really good food. We landed on Notos in Naousa, right on the waterfront, and it couldn't have been a better choice. The setting was beautiful, the vibe was relaxed, and the food, absolutely delicious. One of those meals where every dish hits just right. Highly recommend this spot if you're ever in Naousa. It's the perfect way to end the day. We continued our evening into the town of Naousa. The girls bought the perfect seashell lamp at this stand right here for their new apartment. Horrible. How cute is this dog, just waiting for its owners on this little boat as the sun was setting behind them. We then continued to find a little cocktail bar, and man, did we come across the best spot. How do we get so lucky to find a rooftop cocktail bar with nobody inside? The views were spectacular, the drinks were fabulous, so we enjoyed a little evening together, enjoying that beautiful sunset over the port of Naousa. What a great end to our Father's Day evening.
I know what's coming. All right, we're coming. Here we go. Here. There you go.
Road trip! Checking out the towns of Paros. One of the best parts of returning to a place you love is discovering the corners you missed the first time. This trip led us inland to two of Paros' most picturesque mountain villages, Lefkes and Prodromos. We started in Lefkes, the island's former capital, nestled in the hills and full of old-world charm. Winding marble streets, whitewashed homes, and bursts of bougainvillea around every corner. It was absolutely stunning. Every alley felt like a postcard. We wandered through quiet shops, paused to greet every alley cat we passed, and just soaked it all in.
Hi. Hello. Hi. Oh, no.
You came back.
Love a good chair outside of the shop, don't you? From there, we made our way to Prodromos, a smaller, sleepier, just as charming. These inland towns gave us a totally different feel from the coast and a whole new appreciation of Paros. While the rest of the crew stopped at a small family-run spot for what they claimed were the best gyro plates they've ever had, I wandered off to explore the quiet alleys of Prodromos. It's one of those places that feels frozen in time, especially peaceful, simple, and full of beauty in the smallest details. I'm so glad we made it to these mountain towns. They gave us a whole new side of Paros, but after a morning of village charm and alleyway wandering, it was definitely time to cool off, and that meant finding a beach. So we're back at Mud Beach. We were here 14 years ago, at least I was with the kids, and now it's Mike's turn. So let's go check out what he's doing. I made him go find a stick this morning so he could mix the clay for us. Oh, look at that. So when we were here 14 years ago, the girls were little and covered up in clay. Lindsay loved it so much, she spent the whole day covered in clay, to the point where we had to take buckets of it back to our house that we were renting so that she could lather herself in clay the rest of the days that she was here. So we're trying to recreate that. I've got Mike at work. It's getting gooey. Yes. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Thanks, babe. It's supposed to be good for your skin, right?
It makes the blue in my eyes pop.
She doesn't seem as enthusiastic as she did when she was little, but they did it. Thanks, girls, for having a little fun with Mom and Dad. 14 years later, look at them. We experienced these rogue-like waves that just seemed to come out of nowhere while we were in Greece. This one in particular took out the entire beach. Thank goodness for Cody that jumped into action and saved all of our things from getting wet, but he did get an injury in the meantime.
Dr. Mike. Who's winning? I'm winning.
It's rare for me to beat Mike in a game of dominoes. Our little porch area was perfect for playing games while the sun was setting after a day at the beach.
What did you say?
They know where to come to get the good tuna. I think we better go get cat food. Oh, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Just a little bit though, okay?
A day of exploring while the kids are asleep. We found Golden Beach.
We did. We found it.
Just a word to the wise, the parking situation and the roads coming in, kind of sketchy.
Sketch.
But there is a beach. Go to the blue.
It's blue.
Let's see if it's worth it.
Lots of sand.
This is the blue beach bar before it opens. Having some Aperol spritz. Plenty of sand. collection. There's even one that looks like a heart in there somewhere. There's something about being up early when nobody else is up to explore.
Pretty cool.
It is. Which is why it's always my favorite. So I convinced this one back here to get up.
It wasn't that hard to convince.
Pretty. That water. Aliki for 3 weeks in 2014. So it's a little walk down memory lane. I think our house was actually somewhere over there.
Oh wow.
There's that hill. So it's somewhere on that mound right over there. That's where we stayed. And we'd walk all the way down that little path right there and walk along here to come into the village at night.
Use up the space a little bit.
Are one of our favorite treats. I think, where was the last place we were at having these? I think we've even had them like in Dubrovnik, but in the morning you go to the little bakeries and get these filled with spinach. Mike has ham and cheese this time, but the crispy flakiness is perfect on the outside. Now a vanilla cream little pastry. All right, sample it. Tell us what it's like. Good?
Warm vanilla cream.
Warm vanilla cream. These are friendly sea urchin waters, as Stacy and I discovered during our swims. Look at these doors. Look at these. What is that? For our final evening on the island, we headed to Parikia. We strolled through charming little shops, taking our time, and then made our way up to the perfect sunset spot for dinner. Kastro's. The golden light, the breeze, the view, and of course the Greek house wine that had become a favorite on this trip. It all came together. It was the kind of dinner that makes you slow down and really want to savor the moment. Afterward, we wandered some more, stopping for sunset photos in front of a beautiful seaside church, grabbing a scoop of gelato, and heading home. The perfect ending to our time in Paros. Headed out for a morning run before we get on the ferry to go to Naxos. Here we go. We just dropped off our car. We are getting on the ferry now to go to Naxos. We're here about an hour early. The port's really busy in the morning. We're going to go to Naxos. We've never been there. It's a quick 45-minute ferry ride to get there. So that'll be nice. Then we will head out back to Milos. We were in Milos last summer. We loved it so much, but we're going to take the kids this time. Thought it was late. It's not too late. We got the signs over here telling us to go.